Well, I never thought this day would come. Pixar's long-awaited sequel to Inside Out has finally been released. And it's been 9 years since the original came out. Jeez, that's so long ago. After the announcement that Inside Out is getting a sequel back in late 2022, I was sort of against the idea of Inside Out getting a sequel. I mean, I was excited, but in my opinion, if a movie that is really good on its own, I think we should just leave it at that, because making a sequel to the original would feel like it would ruin on what made the original special, unless you got something more to tell with new concepts and expanding the world and making the characters face different obstacles, then you should definitely tell it, for however long you want. And I'm happy to say that Inside Out 2 definitely did that, in some way. As much as I really enjoyed the sequel, I feel like it wasn't really emotionally impactful as the first film was, but that isn't to say that there are some scenes in this movie that will really hit you hard. But I hear some people comparing the plot to the first film and how similar it was. I mean, yeah, there are some scenes in here that I could tell that they were trying to recreate, but the good thing is at least it doesn't feel forced at all. I really like the new emotions in the movie, anxiety being the standout of the movie, and her as an antagonist was really interesting for this story. I really like how accurately portrayed it was and how the new emotions are too. Although I think envy wasn't the most accurate emotion for it to be relatable enough, if that makes sense. I don't know if it's just I'm looking at it wrong, but that's just how I feel, I guess. Ennui and embarrassment are the funniest ones in my opinion. I really like that they really get to explore more in the mind and how it gets more creative with the new stuff that they have in here. It's also visually stunning to look at. With the new self-belief system that they have in the movie, it's really interesting. And the original emotions are still just as good as they were in the original. Anger, fear, and disgust get to do more in this film than the first one. I mean, I was a little skeptical about the new voice actors for Fear and Disgust. I like Tony Hill as Fear, but it's a little distracting that the fact that he was in another Pixar movie that he was in. But still, I really like it. But I would still prefer Bill Hader as Fear. I just think it's better. And I think the new voice actor for Disgust was honestly a bit better than how she was portrayed in the first film. Good job, Liza Lapira. And I like that you get to see more of Riley on the outside. I was really into her conflict about fitting in and trying her best to make it into the hockey team in camp. And her relationship with her new friends as well. Again, this movie isn't really as emotionally impactful as the first film, but it is definitely more mature about controlling your emotions and how much the emotions really affect you as a person. It really works with Riley's character in this film. And how can I forget Joy? She's still the most fun and energetic protagonist as she was in the first film, and I felt really bad that she isn't gonna be there for Riley all the time, even if she really wants to, and I really love how it all goes by the end. If I had to point out some problems, I would say that the movie moves a bit too fast and the movie felt a little short, even though this movie is a minute longer than the first film, which in comparison, it's not really that noticeable, but I think it's just how the story progresses just moves a little fast to me. But yeah, Inside Out 2 was worth the wait. It's funny, it's still creative in new and fun ways, and some scenes do pull at your heartstrings. Even if I think it's not as emotional as the first one, I still really like it. And I hear people say that they don't really mind wanting a third Inside Out movie, which I can definitely see how it would work. But is it necessary? Not really. Do people want it? I guess so. It makes Disney more money, I guess. Unless that's what the future holds for Pixar movies, then I might be more than concerned. So yeah, I'm giving Inside Out 2 an 8.5 out of 10. I think it's one of the better sequels that Pixar has released. Pixar still has not lost its magic yet. I mean, let's see how the future holds for the studio. Why are we getting this?